Okay, here we are with him pretty much done. Um, Again, it was just really all the same things, just going on, adding a little more texture in here, texture. I already showed you how to do. Just took it a little bit farther, but this is it finished. Let me show you some finishing techniques. Now, there's, as I showed in the other thing, Liquify is always just a great tool. You know, if you take this um, in there, I'm going to go ahead and create Control Shift C, Control V will copy a flattened layer. So this is a flattened layer. And I'm going to go ahead and liquefy. Change some of these shapes. A bigger arm thing. Change the shape of the head. You really kind of change the shape of the eye even. I'm going to give him more of a squinty eye shape. Tool like that. You don't really just change so much about it. That's too much. Too much as well. My big bulging bicep. That doesn't really work. But you can see, again, if we're talking about doing designs and being able to see what works and doesn't work, it's a great tool. Another great thing to do when you're done with these things, now I've already kind of, when I rendered these a bit sharper, so I'm going to do it on this layer. An unsharp mask is really great for emphasizing your textures. You don't want to overdo it, but under sharpen, unsharp mask. And see how all those textures, nothing, but now everything kind of gets a little. That's without it, and that's with it. Especially in print, it really helps out. Um, since I have this on another layer, though, I'd probably go ahead and erase through to the unsharpened version that I have beneath on areas that already were pretty sharp, which were like these arms and a couple of these textures. This way you get the best of both worlds. Now if you wanted to let's jump into, again, we're talking about finishing at this point, so I'm going to copy another flattened layer and put it in there and go back to that to show you on that replace color how you can also use that for messing with some stuff. And changing the hue of the character, but it's really nice because it didn't change everything. You still have that base of blue, and you still have these. Well, I just clicked them. No, you don't, but there you go. And you can really play with the, see what colors, really just get it to go, oh yeah, that works, that doesn't work so much. That's kind of an interesting color mix right there. But even this, let's say we did this, right? And I'm going to say, okay, now I have it on an upper layer, so I'm going to make a layer mask for it. I'm going to make my foreground color black, and then Alt Delete will fill that layer. And then I'm going to go to white, and go back to my airbrush, and I can airbrush back in. Since I'm in the mask, see, it's very important that you're in the mask. You see that little circle that shows you're in the mask. If you're in the layer itself, you're in the brush. So you click back there. Now I'm going to paint back into the mask and reveal that other color. So if I want to use it as, do an adjustment like I just did, and use it to make markings or color changes on the character, it works really well too. And you can just paint, spots if you want, or things I have going here. But again, it gives you that variance, which gets really kind of cool. And now, just the opposite, if you found like everything here was getting too sharp for you, if you, again, I'm going to Control A, Control Shift C, Control V, so I have a flattened area. And I'm going to do a blur, Gaussian blur, bring it up to about, and again, these are all finishing techniques. Okay, it's all blurry. You're thinking, oh, Brian, what the heck are you going to do with that? Well, you can just lower the opacity a bit and see how that gives you a little soft focus to the whole piece now, before and after. Not necessarily super appropriate on a monster like this, but you can also use it as a color adjustment. So let's say I just put it under there, so I have it in normal mode, and you can use, once you have this highlighted, the layer mode, you can use the arrow keys to scroll through them, so you can see what might be a little more interesting to you. Like, is it good if I throw it in color burn? Do I want it darker like that? Do I want to lighten? Do I want screen? Color dodge? That kind of pumped it up a little bit. It's kind of interesting. Overlay. Kind of works nice. Let's see, by scrolling through, again, you can just, play and see what kind of works and what doesn't work. An interesting one is if we go to overlay, and if I go back to human saturation and I colorize saturation, it really gives you a nice sort of tint to everything. You still keep the underlying colors, but you tint it. You see by scrolling through the hue how it changes, but it gives it a nice, this is often like if we finished a background or something, if we applied this sort of color over to everything, it would help bring the environment and the character together. And again, the great part of it's in the layer. Okay, I want to bring the red of my eye back, and I can just erase through to whatever clean color you want to get. Oh, I don't want it to affect that fin. Okay, I'm just erasing through to it. See? Alrighty. Again, this piece will be on there with all the different layers there, so you can take them apart and see what's going on. And thanks for getting this tutorial. I hope you found it fun.